very warm welcome to Let's Get It On with me, Suzanne Letting. Each week we're going to be listening to brand new releases from artists all over the globe. So now's the time to grab that cup of tea, that cup of coffee, or even a glass of wine as we get lost in some fabulous music.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, hello and a very warm welcome to your Saturday night with me, Suzanne Letting. Oh, what a week I have had. I have been in the studio with the wonderful Mr. Steve Blackner. We've been recording the Waffle Show. I have learnt so much about his guests and I can't wait to tell you when the first one is going to air, because you are going to be amazed at the conversations that he has had. But tonight I've got another bumper pack show for you, and I'm going to kick it off with none other than Maya Kamara with JJ Mist, a New Zealand artist. I could have met her when I was over there, with their brand new track, Never Lie to You. Wow, what a way to start the show. There was the incredible Maya Kamara there with JJ Mist, two wonderful artists. What a great collaboration. I'm really looking forward to listening to that again in the Beastie Tracks. Next up, Matrix Div Music. It's got a brand new track out. This is called Disco. Now this is going to get your shoulders shuffling for sure. That was the incredible Matrix Div music there with Disco. Wasn't that fabulous? I tell you, tonight's show is a real stonker. It's going to get you in a really good, feel-good mood. If the weather's turning a little bit cold, well, never mind. We can just turn up the volume and turn up the heat with all of these wonderful artists that you're listening to tonight on my show. Next up, we've got Rogue FX with UFO 1982. This is a collaboration between these two great artists, and this is Computer Love. I haven't loved my computer this week, I can tell you. I'm still having trials and tribulations with everything that Windows is doing on its updates, but never mind. Rogue FX and UFO 1982 are going to give us a bit of computer love.
Love, different and the same. Got computer
was UK-based Rogue FX there, none other than Andrew Wood with Computer Love, and that was a collaboration with UFO 1982, who is none other than Yanis Monja. She's a Peruvian producer and composer of electronic music orientated to the subgenre called synthwave. Next up is, of course, the one and only Fons Tramontano and Khalida J with If Only. the wonderful Fons Tramontano there, and Khalida J with If Only. Do you know, if only technology worked in the way that you expect it to. We've been doing lots of recordings this week, as I said, with the wonderful Mr. Steve Blacknell, and having guests on the show. Everybody's got different levels of understanding of a technology, so we've been wiring our way through that. My brain is completely frazzled, I tell you. It's been a great week, it really has, but I am so tired now. I'm so glad I can escape into all this wonderful music from these artists from all around the globe. Next up is Max Project. This is Possible Impossible Love. And I think a beautiful one for us to just chill to and enjoy all the elements of how this track is constructed. That was Mac's project there with Possible Impossible Love. Now, because I'm creating the show very late this week, I'm not going to be able to tell you an awful lot about each of the artists like I normally do, because I am running out of time to get the show prepared and logged into the station ready for airing. So forgive me, but you'll have to rely on my Facebook page. I will be tagging all the artists that you're listening to tonight. So please do take the time to go and look them up and follow them and download some of their tracks. If you've liked them, then please do download them, and you can hear them again on My Beastie Tracks, where you won't hear me going on in the background. You'll be able to put them on a long playlist if you're on a long car journey. They are perfect partners. Now, JXNS is back with a new album, Riverfield Dreams. Now, this is one of the tracks, and I'll be sharing the others over the coming weeks. This is a track called But Still, and this is featuring, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, No Veil.
I stay silent. My thoughts are about to get violent, but still I dream of rooms that let me stay, with crooked chairs and quiet clay. A place where my mind holds its ground, and I'm not lost, just rarely found. I answer questions with a gesture, not a claim. Mother says I live without a motto. Father sees me drift, stuck in auto. Friends say you're so funny, like I'm some kind of dummy. But still, I dream of rules that let me stay, with crooked chairs and quiet clay. A place where my mind holds its ground, and I'm not lost, just rarely found. I answer questions with a gesture, not a claim. Not blessing, just badly tuned, loud cold, just built for other weather. Place where my mind holds its ground, and I'm lost, just rarely found. I answer questions with a gesture, not a claim.
That was the magical JXNS there from the album Riverfield Dreams. That was one of the tracks on that album, but still featuring No Veil. Brilliant track that is. Now then, I've got a brand new album out from Vague Notion to share with you. This is from the album Glow. This is one of the tracks, and I'll be sharing some more in the weeks ahead for you, but this is a track called A Little Distraction. That's what I need sometimes, a little distraction from these computers. Ah!
Should he take a step back and maybe think about the choices that he's made? Think about the choices. There'll come a time, there'll surely come a time when I won't have to run anymore. reactions, 'cause they are little distractions. They are a little distraction, distraction. There'll come a time, there'll surely come a time when I won't have to run anymore.
Based in Canada and known for their unique sound palette, that was Vague Notion there with A Little Distraction. Now the last one for set one is Lifelong Corporation, a beautiful track for you to get lost into while I go and get ready for set two for you, and I think I need a cuppa.
When she was queen of queens, in the night she was queen, princess Cordis in the royal court. But the night has a price, when dawn breaks you will pay. Now the echoes remain, fading soft like a distant sad song. She said goodbye without a word 2 nights ago. She left in silence, let the cold wind slowly blow. She was lost in the crowd, chasing ghosts of her past. All the jewels she wore now lie scattered upon the floor. Truth always lurks, waiting silent behind. And the stories once told slowly turn into dust and dark lies. She said goodbye without a word 2 nights ago. She left in silence, let the cold wind slowly blow. night long.
Suzanne Letting, let's get it on.
Do you like my new little ditty? It just gets you in a positive mood, wasn't it? Well, you were just listening to Lifelong Corporation there with The Night. Now, Lifelong Corporation is an independent electronic music project that blends elements of synthwave, techno and synth pop with a strong melodic and emotional sensibility. You'll find him on Spotify and also on Instagram. Now we're into set 2. So what have I got in store for you? Well, first up, AC83 is our first track. This is My Last Mistake.
I have
That was AC83 with My Last Mistake. Now, AC83 is a Tennessee-based producer with over 2 decades of experience writing and composing music. AC83 crafts music that is synth pop but on the edge of rock, and that was My Last Mistake. What a lovely track that was. I'm so looking forward and excited to listen to all these on the Beastie Tracks, because in the next couple of weeks I've got a few long journeys backwards and forwards to Stanmore as my daughter has a major operation on her foot. So I'm going to be, or you are going to be accompanying me, all you wonderful artists, on those journeys backwards and forwards. Next up, Project Ick is back with a brand new album, and this is the track from the album, and I'll be sharing some more over the coming weeks with you. This is In the Fire featuring Stein Shiver.
The sun was smiling, the birds were singing, our hair blew in the wind. The old car rolled down winding roads, then a loud crash, streets by the riverbank. In the fire and deep blue eyes, his wife and child, lost in the river. In the fire the man falls, his will fades away. Memories of his family turn to ash and dust. Save them. The sun kept smiling as he burned in the flame. He died so fast in the wreckage of the car. Before he shut his eyes, he saw her one last time. Can you feel the fire? It lifts you higher. Can you feel the fire? It lifts you higher. In the fire a man stands with deep blue eyes, his wife and child, lost in the river. In the fire the man fades away. Memories of his family too high. Can you feel the fire? Lift too high. Can you feel the fire? Lift too high.
That was from the latest release from Project Ich there with Into the Fire. That was the new EP that's out recently, and that's just one track from that EP, and I'll be sharing more from that album with you in the future with Stein Scheiver, who also creates melancholic electro-pop with soul, music between emotion and frequency, atmospheric, introspective and deeply human. His songs capture inner moments with cinematic precision. So what a great pairing between those two. And I talk a lot about collaborations on my show, because what I find in particular is when other artists get together, they share ideas, they share collaborations, and each of them bring their own magic to a track, as I did with Project Inch on the latest EP that we released, which was A Beautiful Day in Autumn. It was a great project to work on. I learned so much by doing that. And also with RC&T, but I'm looking forward to some new albums that we're going to be doing. We've got another one in the pot at the moment that we're talking about when I can get round to listening to the tracks that RC has sent to me, ready for me to write the lyrics to, so I'm looking forward to that, so stay tuned. Next up is Sorrow Stories from the album Too Early. It's an EP, and this is the title track from that album with Christopher Hall. This is Too Early, and I hope I'm not playing it too early for you, because it's not yet out on Spotify. It could be today or yesterday when that gets released, but you're hearing it now, and I'll be sharing more from that album in the future. That was Sorrow Stories there from the new EP Too Early. That was featuring Christopher Hall, and that was the track called Too Early. What a lovely track. An atmospheric track that was too. Now then, next up is a new artist for you. I think they are on SoundCloud. This is Nook and Cranny, so a new artist for you, and this is a new EP. This is their latest release, and it's called, quite aptly, Karma Waters. That's the album, and the track is called We Choose to Go to the Moon, which is quite apt considering Artemis 2 landed yesterday back safely, we hope. I'm recording the show on Friday, so I don't know, and we won't know till the early hours of the morning. But I'm also doing a track that has been inspired by that historic journey. What a wonderful feat for mankind to go right round to the far side of the moon, and how poetic that Pink Floyd should write about that. I wonder if they knew we would be able to travel to the far side in the future.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. against the hostile use of land or sea. But I do say that space can be explored and mastered without feeding the fires of war, without repeating the mistakes that man has made. Was asked why did he want to climb it. He said because it is there. Well, space is there. And we're going to climb it. And the moon and the planets are there. And new hope for knowledge and peace are there. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
That was Nook and Cranny there from the album Calmer Waters, and that was We Choose to Go to the Moon, a different track for you there. I thought I would pop that one in actually just to change midway through set 2 to give you a different feel, and sometimes I quite like tracks that are a bit out there, a bit quirky, and that certainly is, and I think I'm going to look forward to hearing more from Nook and Cranny. I can't manage to find too much about them, but I have found them on SoundCloud, and it looks like they come from Los Angeles in the United States. They've got quite a bit on SoundCloud and not much on Spotify as yet. That is only the new album that I can see on there, but one to watch definitely, and a different track for you to get to know, like and love. Next up is I Am Milan. This is from the Get You Down remixed album, and this is the track Why Would I Lie to You, but is the DEK 101 remix for you. That was Why Would I Lie to You, the DEK 101 remix from I Am Milan there. Next up, I'm taking you all the way over to France now. This is Morgan Willis from the new album Heat, and this is Can't Forget Your Heart.
forget your heart. Too far to love, you're too far to hold. 1,000 miles, but I won't let go. No, no. I reach for you, but all I get is air. The distance keeps us unaware. You're too far to love. Raise your words onto the window when it's cold. You always seem so close, but the feeling never holds. Watching airplanes pass, but they never land. I miss your touch, how I wish I had it in my hand. Now I'm calling your name into the night. Wish you were here, but you know I'm inside. Time zones pulling us apart, but I can't, no, can't forget you. Too far to love, you're too far to hold. 1,000 miles, but I won't let go. No, no. I reach for you, but all I get is air. The distance keeps us unaware. You're too far to love.
Such a beautiful track that was. That was Morgan Willis there from the album Heat. That was Can't Forget Your Heart. Next up, Glenn Main is back with us, and I've had this track for a little while, so I apologise. I've only just got round to getting this aired, but it reached number 15 of the top 25 of 2025 on the Retro Synth Top Records of 2025, and this is Silent Hideout. Glenn Main there with number 15 of the Retro Synth label's Top 25 of 2025 with Silent Hideout. Now then, the last one for set 2 before we go into set 3, which as you know is the palette changes, the opportunity for other artists from other genres to have their music on the show, is the very talented Clive Newlands, who is also Akka the Phantom Man. Now this is a collaboration he's done with Amy Fitz-Doyley, and I think you're going to enjoy this because it's very different from what you've heard from Clive or the Phantom Man before, and he's going to take us really nicely into set 3. So stay with me, don't go away, here on Let's Get It On with me, Suzanne Letting.
Just staring at my phone. Wonder if I see you again, or is this the start of it? I know it's up to me to make the next move. You gotta help me, just listen to me. Listen to my plea. Where you at? You don't pick up your phone, baby. Where you at? Just come back. All the time to think. It takes me to the brink. How did we get to this moment in time? And how do we go back? We need more time on this to try to work things out. The two to tango is what it takes, and that's why I need you back. Where you at? You don't pick up your phone, baby. Where you
You're listening to Spectrum On Air, the colourful voice of radio. Broadcasting live on spectrumonair.com, Get Me Radio and Mixcloud Live. And never fear, if you've missed your favourite programme, just find our Listen Again service on mixcloud.com. Spectrum On Air, putting the colour back into radio.
Thank you, the incredible Mr. Steve Blacknell there, who has been the consummate professional this week recording The Waffle Show. I can't wait to share it with you because it's going to be great. There's lots of things in the show that you won't know and lots of people that you will recognise or you may not even recognise, but you'll certainly know about the work that they do. They're all members of the Waffle Club luncheon that Steve does in Covent Garden, and we've had an absolute blast recording that show. Now then, what have I got for you in set 3? First up is an artist that's got over 30,000 followers on Spotify. You've not had them on the show before, and so this is a new artist for you to get to know, like and love. You will find them on Instagram and Spotify. This is Master Frick with How Much Is Your Love Worth, and I think you're going to enjoy this.
My name like you mean that. Hold me close, then you lean back. I can feel it in your eyes, but I still read between the lines. Is it real when the lights go low? Will it last when it is time to go? I need more than sweet goodnight. I need truth that can hold me tight. If I give you all of me tonight, will you keep my heart safe by your side? No more games, no in between. Tell me what your love really means. How much is your love worth? Tell me before I lose myself first. If I fall, will you hold this down? Will you stay when the walls come down? You stay in my mind, only you. But I need something real from you. How much is your love worth? Tell me now, tell me what it's worth. You, only you, say it clear, make it true. You move so like a midnight wave, pull me close like you want me saved. Every touch got a price somehow, so I need your honesty now. Is your heart something I can trust? Or just one more out of fire and dust? If I hope the knot, don't let me break. Don't give me less than I can take. If I give you all of me tonight, will you keep my heart safe by your side? No more games, no in between. Tell me what your love is. How much is your love worth? Tell me before I lose myself first. If I fall, will you hold this down? Will you stay when the walls come down? You stay in my mind, only you. But I need something real from you. How much is your love worth? Tell me now, tell me what it's worth.
Wow, I really love that from Master Frick there. How much is your love worth? What a great artist. I've certainly added that to my playlist, and I'm certainly going to be listening to that again in the Beastie track. Now then, the next artist and the next single reached the semi-finals in the UK Songwriting Contest. It was a lockdown song conceived in 2020 when the world was locked down and loved ones couldn't meet. This is Hat or Belt, and this is Christy.
Living in the same city, close by but far away. We open windows, look outside, where birds fly so free every day, over bridges and rooftops. High above, crowded tower blocks, bird's eye view of empty roads. When will I see you, Christy? Where are the lips to kiss me? The arms to wrap around me, Christy. The memories far behind me, slipping away like history. Time like a fast river, life like a photograph. Your face is smiling on the screen, your cold hands behind broken glass. That's between us, we're locked in. When will we see those days again? Touching skin and holding hands. It's just a dream, Christy. Where are the lips to kiss me? The arms to wrap around me, Christy. The memories far behind me, slipping away like history.
Viral infection spreading throughout the world. The infection causes immediate respiratory failure, and scientists claim that mutations are now transmittable between humans.
No one getting on buses, no songs inside the church, not many people on the train. Someone cries as they go to work. Will they get home for safety? Closing doors, back to daily window views of empty roads where I don't see you, Christy. Where are the lips to kiss me? The arms to wrap around me, Christy. The memories far behind me, slipping away, Christy. Where are the lips to kiss me? The arms to wrap around me, Christy. The memories far behind me, slipping away like history.
That was Hat or Belt there with Christy with a lockdown track that's just been released. See, sometimes it takes quite a long time for the artists to get round to tracks that they love. They put them to one side, sometimes because they haven't quite finished them, but they don't quite know why they're not finished. And going back to them refreshes the idea, and they sometimes pop back in a different form, or sometimes more or less the same, but embellished so much more. So that was a great track there by Hat or Belt. Now, next up is another new artist for you, and I think you're going to enjoy this one just as much as you did Mastrafik here, because it's a new artist. This is Victoria Joy Nonye Okocha, I hope I've said that right, who is Aka Nonye Toria. She was born and raised in Lagos, and she is from a royal bloodline in the Delta state of Nigeria, but she left for England at the age of 13, and music has always played a part of her life. And this is Carefree, and what a beautiful song this is too. was Nonye Toria from the album Force and Fire, and that was Carefree. There's a few more tracks on that album which I'm going to be listening to, and I've added them to the Beastie track. Looking forward to hearing more from Nonye. Next up is another new artist for you. This is Beaker. Now, I can't find too much about them, so we'll have to do a little bit of digging together, and this is 50 Men. That was Oxford-based indie icons Beaker with the return with that powerful new single 50 Men. That was brilliant. They've had great reviews of that song already, and I'm looking forward. So thank you so much, Beaker, for sending that in. Let's have some more, please. That was brilliant. I loved that. Next up, I'm going to smooth you down now. So if you've not got that cup of tea, that cup of coffee, that glass of wine or that pint of ale, now's the time to go and get it. Or sit out under the moonlight. We've had lots of moon conversations, haven't we, this week? Well, here's another one, because Roland LaRocque is giving us Lover's Moon. And you can just imagine sitting in the moonlight with a nice glass of wine, listening to Roland talk to us about Lover's Moon.
As I look back over my shoulder, all the stars are shining bright, just like the nights when I used to hold her. She's out there somewhere under the lover's moon. Lover's moon, won't you shine for me? I'm dancing with a memory. I wish I may, I wish I might have one last chance to hold her tight, waiting. I know she's waiting. I know she waits for me under the lover's moon. There's a lover's moon tonight, shining down on half of this world. So many souls are in its light, but for me there is just one girl, and she's waiting. I know she's waiting. I know she waits for me under the lover's moon. Under the lover's moon.
Wasn't that lovely? That was Roland LaRocque there with Lover's Moon. That takes me back to my childhood, you know, and listening to my mum's favourite music. Our house was always filled with music, and I can just take myself back to that time and imagine that she's still with me, along with my aunts and uncles. They were all avid music lovers. I was so lucky to be blessed with them all, because they introduced me to all of the rock and roll era, all of those songs, and Roland LaRocque just gets that era spot on, doesn't he? I'd love to see Roland live. Actually, Roland, if you're listening to the show, let me know where you're playing and I'd love to come and see you. Now then, we've got a singer-songwriter from the West Midlands, very proud of his black country roots. This is Steve Heathcock with a brand new single called New Direction.
There's nothing to do. You know what it's like when there's nowhere to go. Lift up your hands, time to raise your voice. The place is cool. direction now. New girl, new start, time to break a new heart. New girl, new start, take a new direction now. Take a new direction now. Take a new direction now. Take a new direction now.
Well, wasn't that lovely? Following on from Roland LaRocque there in a similar kind of theme and feel. That was Steve Heathcock there with New Direction. I really enjoyed that. Thanks so much for sending that in. Now then, the last one for set 3, because we're racing through tonight's show and I think we might run out of time for set 4. But here we go. This is The Last Arcade with Trisha McTeague with Why Did You Leave Me? Now, The Last Arcade, well, they are a Liverpool-based synthwave band comprised of singer Steve McNally, guitarist Paul Garrett and keyboardist and producer Steve Erickson. Well, how lovely is this collaboration? You're going to enjoy this. And they are going to take us nicely into set 4. This is The Last Arcade and Trisha McTeague with Why Did You Leave Me?
Well,
Susan Letting, and you're listening to Let's Get It On. Let's get it on with Susan Letting. Turn it up, yeah, we're just getting started. Let's get it on. Susan's got your favorite songs. Don't touch the dial, we're rolling all night long.
Suzanne Letting, let's get it on.
Wasn't that a great track there from The Last Arcade and Trisha McTeague with Why Did You Leave Me? Now, I knew we'd reached the last and the end of the show far too quick for my liking. So before I introduce the last track, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. Don't forget that the wonderful Harry Kukuli is on after me. And then don't forget on Sunday, XPTV3, we have the LGO, the Let's Get It On video show. Now, Steve Mainwaring has created a Pet Shop Boys special for you. So don't forget to tune into that. And if you are an artist and you would like your music on the show, well then please just go to our website, www.spectrumonair.com. There is a submission button there for you to upload your tracks, and I will get round to getting you on the show. I just want to say at this point, please remember to fill in your metadata information on your tracks, because if I can't announce you properly, then listeners aren't going to know where to find you. So your name, your artist song, your artist album, and your MP3s labelled correctly, please, on the metadata, because very often I might get your track in one week and it might be next week when I start to air it, and if I haven't got all that information, I often can't find you, and I don't want you to miss out on having your track on my show. So all that remains is for me to say enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening and enjoy your Sunday. I hope the weather improves for us all. We're going to play out to Dominus Lux. This is from the album Into the Great Starlight, and this is Fortuna. This is a brilliant cosmic electronic album from the California-based artist Dominus Lux. It's releasing worldwide on all platforms, and I think you're going to enjoy this. So I'm going to say good night, God bless, stay safe everybody, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.